Today, I'm gonna turn Minecraft mobs into Italian Brainrot character, a new meme that came out recently with a bunch of weird creatures. And I'm gonna give each one of them a special ability, and they'll drop items with powers never seen before in Minecraft. I picked 5 of these new characters. Alright, we're gonna start with Tung Sahur. He kinda looks like a piece of wood carrying a stick, so I'm gonna turn him into a villager. Right up ahead, there's a village. As you guys know, here in my Minecraft world, I've built a custom place for every character I've transformed. And today won't be any different. In this video, I'm also gonna create a biome for each of the characters we're making. Let me just grab this villager real quick. Thing is, the lead doesn't work on him, but don't worry, I'll figure it out. Come here. Now with the villager, we're gonna open up this app called Blockbench, and I can change all the details of the villager there. So I'm gonna delete this model and build a brand new one from scratch, inspired by Tung Sahur. Well, he's kinda like a chunk of wood, and his head is a bit bigger than his body, so I can make it something like this. Alright, now on his face, I'm gonna make a base for the eyes. He's got a strong expression like some dark circles under his eyes. So I grab this piece, duplicate it, rotate it, and move it up. That's where his eyes are gonna go. He also has these big cheeks, so I'll duplicate that too and rotate it to the other side. And lastly, the nose. I'll add a little detail here to make it big. Now we just need to add his texture. I'm gonna paint it all with this color that kind of looks like wood. Paint the top part too. And now just add a few texture details, like right here on the side. All right, nice. I think the texture looks pretty good now. Let's add the leg, stretch it out. Now the foot, pull a cube here and another one. To make the foot look smoother, more like a real foot, we can grab this part, rotate it, click this point, then that one, and boom, it creates a little slope. Now add one more here for the toe. Take that toe and duplicate it across the whole foot. Select the foot, duplicate it to the other side. Now for the arm, pull it out, then the hand, duplicate the hand. And lastly, his stick. Now, back here in Minecraft, remember that villager behind me? Well, he kinda became the Tung Sahur. And yeah, check this out. One thing he does is make that Tung Sahur sound non-stop. I also added a feature so that if you defeat him, he drops the Tung Sahur stick. It's really strong. Look, if I click here, it one-shots any mob in front of me because it throws like a chunk of wood. But let's say I miss. Look, I'm gonna shoot over there and miss on purpose. It creates an earthquake on the ground, making mobs die anyway. So yeah, even if you hit or miss, the mobs are gonna end up dying either way. This stick is seriously OP, and I'm still gonna make even crazier mobs and items, so make sure to watch till the end. Now, like I promised, back here in our village where I've got all the builds from other videos I've made. Actually, this video hasn't even dropped on the channel yet, so if you're watching this, consider it a little spoiler. But I'm gonna pick a spot here to build a custom area for Tung Sahur, and I decided to make it look like a train station. In the original meme image, it's kind of hard to tell what kind of place he's in, but since there's a lot of wood and stuff, I figured it could be something like that. The build turned out really cool, and now Tung Sahur has his own little special spot. I think it fits. Everything's surrounded by wood, just like him. And hey, I want you guys to rate this character in the comments. My rating for him is a solid 7. Alright, now that he's done, let's move on. The next one we're gonna transform is the Boneca Ambalabu. I'm not sure if I said that right, but she's basically a tire with a frog head and human legs. Alright, I think the best mob to turn her into is obviously the frog. So let's grab the frog and get it ready for transformation. Back in Blockbench now, let's pick the frog model. Just like before, I'm gonna delete it because we're not using that anymore. And now I'm gonna start building the base of the doll with this right here. It's kind of like a circle in Minecraft. I'll stretch it out like this. And to shape it into a tire, I'll drag these parts to the corners. Nice! Perfect! Now I'll take this same corner block and duplicate it to make the edge of the tire. Cause it's hollow, right? Stretch it out, add one more, and perfect. Now select all these pieces, duplicate them, and pull them over here. Like this. Boom! The tire's done. We've got the hole going around it just right. Now I'll pull out another cube to make her head. Stretch it, and keep adding more cubes like this to shape her head, following that smooth, rounded style like the tire. I'm gonna duplicate, pull it down, and start adding texture to it. I'll tweak the tire texture a bit too. And look, it's already starting to look like a frog head. Now I'll grab this part, duplicate it upward, and use the scale function to shrink it down a bit. Pull it again, duplicate again, shrink, and pull, and just like that, we're shaping an actual frog mouth. Now, the same thing as before, I'm going to use these edge points to smooth it out. Stretch, smooth, one more here, pull again, and I think it's already a nice frog head, but can it get even better if I do the same edge point trick? For example, pull like this, here, place here, then duplicate this to pull it down, select the 2 edge points. Same thing with this one here on the other side, here at the back, one more, and perfect. Now it really looks like a frog head, almost like a real frog. Doesn't even look Minecrafty, it's almost circular. But more circular than this is what I'll do now. Check this out. I'm going to select this cube and rotate it. Then we do that same thing from earlier, duplicate here and use the edges, because like this, we can make her eye. Look at that perfect circle. Now just paint this circle white and add frog eye details like this. Then select this eye, duplicate it, move it to the other side, and finally, just the leg is missing, stretch here, and the foot and toes. Wow, this took a lot of work. It's a simple mob, but the problem is that making round details in Minecraft is hard because we only have cubes to use. So making a circle with cubes is kind of tricky. Like I said, I'm going to add a drop for each one of them. His drop will be this tire, okay? But it's not just any tire. It's a tire that I can ride on. So I have my own tire that keeps spinning, dude. That's amazing. And it also jumps. Man, honestly, this is incredible. Just like Tung Tung Sahur, I also created a biome where the doll could stay. Since she's a frog, I didn't think just making a Minecraft swamp would look cool. I made something like a forest because she's kind of wild, and there's the tire too. I mixed both, and I think it looked cute, matched her well, and this biome turned out really cool. I think the colors matched a lot. The green with the forest, so my score for it will be an 8. Comment below what you think, and let's move on to the next, which now is Cappuccina Ballerina. Una fuchacha cappuccina de la ballina. I don't know the whole meme, but she doesn't look like anything in Minecraft, so I'll just transform her into any mob I find here. Nothing to do with a sheep, but it could be. She doesn't resemble anything anyway. So, okay, let's pick the sheep. Got her. And I'll start by adding the base of her body. Stretch this way. Pull a square here. Stretch, stretch, and done. Now pull the leg here and here. Select this leg and duplicate it to the other side. She has like a skirt around her body. So I can take this, duplicate it, and rotate. Then if I do like this, pull here. All right, okay. I already managed to put the skirt on her too. Now the arm, stretch down here and duplicate the arm. The easiest part is done, which is just the simple cube. My problem so far with the mobs has been the round parts. So her head I'll also make a little rounder, like with soft corners. Pull here, add another cube in front on the other side, stretch, here too, pull again, add the little border here, and perfect. Now just make the handle where it holds the finger, since she's a cup, right? Okay, it's not as round as the frogs, but it looks pretty cool. All right, back in Minecraft now. Where are those sheep? Here. Look, dude, it turned out really cool, actually. I thought it would be a bit simpler, but actually, it's really cool. And yes, I also added a power to her. So, let's grab it. And it's nothing more, nothing less than a cup. It's that cup from her face. I reused the model, just remove the face, right? And in this case, what does this cup do, for example? I'll demonstrate on a mob. Here, look. There are some cows. I'll click there and it'll throw a cup of hot cappuccino. It's brown water. The cow is trapped inside. Yeah, but it's already dead. Because this is kind of coffee. Not coffee cappuccino, right? Any mob I want to throw this at, it'll throw coffee. I missed the coffee, actually. It's a good item if you have good aim. Now in the biome building part, I created like a quartz border to resemble a coffee cup. And inside I placed brown details, added some logs and roots to make it look a bit more natural. But the focus on the ground I made of concrete and terracotta in cappuccino color. Look, it actually turned out nice. It matched her a lot because she has several white and brown parts, just like herself, right? A little cappuccino. My score for her will also be 8. Not my favorite so far. Comment below what you think and your score. And look, our world is already taking shape. We have the scenario of all 3 characters, all 3 powers here too. Tung Tung, Boneca, and Caputina. So now let's go to what I think is one of my favorites. La Vaca Saturno Saturnita. I think this cow is super cute. Look at her cute little face. Obviously, I'll transform her into the cow, right? There were some cows here that I was killing earlier. Yeah, they're not here anymore because I killed them, right? No problem, found another. Let's go to Blockbench and create a new project with the cow. Delete her. And let's use the same technique of making circles because you noticed, right? She's a Saturn. La Vaca Saturno Saturnita. She needs a sphere. To make a sphere in Minecraft, I've done it many times here on the channel. You know how it is, it's complicated. You have to do detail by detail with these circles here. Lots of cubes. So I'll finish the sphere here. And now with Saturn ready, I already applied the texture too. You know how easy it is? I come here and I'll create another one to be the Saturn rings, since she has a ring around Lavaca Saturno Saturnita. She has the rings, right? I'll just enlarge this ring here, like this, okay? Put it around. I just need to do the same scheme from before that I did on the tire, which is to actually turn this into a ring, because until now it's just a cylinder, like this. Perfect. Now the cow's head and legs. The legs are easy, stretch here, do the foot part. And now the head of Lavaca Saturno Saturnita. I'm not gonna make the head round, because the Boneca Ambalabu, which is the frog, was already difficult. Imagine making a realistic cow head in Minecraft. Let me duplicate this here, move to the other side, position it right. Now just the horn is missing. Stretch here, select this, duplicate, perfect. Back in Minecraft, the cow I had already turned into Lavaca Saturno Saturnita. The detail is, if I hit this cow, I'll start to have a certain problem because look, she has a power. I'm not moving like I can't get out of here. Look, there. Okay, I did it. She creates like the gravity of a planet around the player. I can't detach from her. Literally. This is a very annoying power, but not if it's in my hands. Here, look, it dropped. The Saturn from Lavaca Saturno Saturnita. And when I right click, all the mobs around me will start to orbit me. Literally like I'm a planet. Look, it's a very cool power. To make it, I was inspired by the YouTuber Forsaken Neon. Even the strong mobs like Villager isn't strong, right? But Iron Golem here from the village. If I right click, they'll start orbiting me. Look at this. Let me get closer to the villager too. Look, this one is the Tung Tung Sahur, but I turned him into a villager. First to die will be the villager because he's weak, but the Iron Golem will stay alive for a while. Look at this. I became like a planet. They orbit around me. This is definitely the best power of today's video. Now I'll also create a biome for Lavaca Saturno Saturnita to stay in. This one I had no idea, so I thought I'll just create Saturn itself, but obviously it's going to be square, right? Like a square Saturn in Minecraft. But it turned out cool, and that's how the Saturn biome of the cow turned out, with her special Saturn up there. And right above it, Lavaca Saturno Saturnita. Well, my score for her will be a 10, because she was my favorite so far. Comment below what you think. And now finally we're going to the last character, which is the Shark Tralalero Tralala. Look at this, we already made all these. And obviously for him, there's no choice, right? The one that looks the most like it in Minecraft is our deer dolphin. So let's go to Blockbench and make some modifications to make him look like a shark. Give him a longer snout, change his texture, not using this can texture. We can improve it. It's looking a little off. Stretch here. This way it becomes a fin more like Tralalero Tralalas. Enlarge this here, move it here. Then I kept working on it until it looked really similar to the original meme. Then I made his shoe too. Yes, he's a shark that wears shoes. I made his belly part white like a shark, and the upper part focused on the blue color. Now we add his little shoe here. Grab this, duplicate, and rotate to the other side, and done. Our Tralalero Tralala is ready. The dolphin was here earlier. Where is it? Wait, let me grab it with a lead and bring it to the beach. Yeah, it turned out really cool. But one problem I noticed, I can't leave it on the dolphin mob. Soon it will end up dying because it can't stay on land. The dolphin has to stay in the sea. It can't even walk properly here. Okay, now it's better. The dolphin is back to being a dolphin. I think it's better to go back to the water or you'll die. Go over there, my son. And Tralalero Tralala I placed on the pig, look, makes piggy sounds. Killing it, we get this fishtail. If I come close to any other mobs, these are sheep, and right click, it'll spawn a storm cloud. This storm cloud will shoot lightning, but that's not all. Right after the lightning and rain, a tsunami will also come. Since the dolphin controls everything water related. The dolphin? No, the shark. Okay, this was one of the strongest and coolest powers. And last but not least, I also recreated the biome for him. Nothing is better than a lake for a shark to stay in. He was my second favorite, so I'll give him a score of 9. So that's it. We added all the characters and created a special biome for each one of them. If you want a part 2 of this video, recreating more characters like Bombardillo Ro, comment below with hashtag part 2. And I'll soon bring another video recreating more Italian brain rot characters for you all. Bye!